Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality. While listening, you'll be exposed to inspiring, empowering, and unifying perspectives that I'm highly confident will yield stellar results in your life if you opt to try them on for size. Also, at optimistic.tv, we have officially begun releasing the first few episodes of our new late-night style, consciousness-elevating video variety talk show, Optimistic, which features live visionary art, soul share interviews, retreat guests here at the Mystic Manor, as well as live musical performances. I'm also super excited to announce that we are currently making plans to release the rest of Season 1 on my personal favorite online streaming service. So stay tuned to optimistic.tv to follow the unfolding development of this exciting Optimistic expansion, as we'll be posting more info and release dates there soon. And in the meantime, be sure to check out, of course, the first few episodes at optimistic.tv as well.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining Samantha and I. And if you could see us, we're both wearing our bun hair today. So we both look super cute and ballerina-like. And we are going to talk about something that's been coming up in both of our worlds lately. And that is trusting yourself.
Yeah, such a simple concept, like, oh, trusting yourself. But really, self-trust, like truly going there with yourself, truly being able to trust yourself, is the foundational pillar to pretty much the fabrication of your entire reality, to everything that you do, to be able to be anything or do anything, think anything or feel anything. For that to really stand in any capacity, you need to trust that, or you will continuously spiral in self-doubt and overanalysis, which I am definitely no stranger to. And so we thought, well, what better topic than to go into today other than the most important one, trusting yourself.
It really is the most important topic. And you just nailed it right there, because it really, when you can trust yourself, you know how to make discernments, and everything falls into place. You know how to trust your intuition. You know how to listen to your heart. It is like, then you don't do all of that overthinking. And yeah, our human minds, we're very prone to it. A lot of us, right? I certainly am too. And it causes us to doubt. And you know what? Lately, I've really been learning how much I do love this process of doubting it and then learning not to. Learning to trust yourself. Because within that process, you really get stronger and you solidify that trust within yourself, because you went through that doubt process and you learned the difference. And you know the difference. That experience makes all the difference in the world. You can learn about it in a book, but when you actually go through it and know it for yourself, so different.
Right, that experiential learning rather than the theoretical learning. And it's like finding discernment through the self-doubt. And I love that you said it, practicing, right? It's kind of like getting lost in a maze and being like, okay, use the stars and the navigation to get yourself out. Because the opposite of that, like the opposite of self-trust, that self-doubt and the overanalysis and constantly spiraling and the indecision and getting stuck in the paralysis, it truly is a form of self-punishment. It is a form of suffering and something that we do to ourselves. And it's an energy as well. The more that we feed our self-doubt, the stronger it will be. The more that we flex the muscle of discernment and self-trust, the stronger that will be. And it truly is, like everything else that we always talk about, it's a deep, deep practice that we need to actually practice.
Yeah, we actually do. And the more we practice it, the stronger it gets. And this conversation reminds me of a conversation that I have with all of my clients every time that we go into a hypnosis session or a QHHT session. Because the very first thing that I ask them to do, it's like the number one thing that's going to help them have an amazing session, is to trust. To trust the very first thing. Trust yourself. That's it. Just trust. And that is what's difficult for us as human beings, unfortunately, because our conscious mind comes in and overthinks. But we can learn to shut it up, and we can learn to just trust ourselves and know we're not lying to ourselves, because this angelic side of us is the one that's talking.
Mm-hmm. That brings up something for me. One of the tools that I really love using when it comes to trust and discernment and to tapping into what my true truth is, I actually saw that it's a little bit different for everybody based on what type of human you are. And one of the frameworks that I like to use is actually human design.
Mm-hmm.
And in human design, human design is a framework that's used based on quantum astrology and the placements of your stars and all of your planets and houses, when you were born, where you were born, and all of that. And it shows the way that we interact with the world and the way that we best utilize our energy and the way that we discern our truth. And some people, that's through the heart. So you'll feel like this warm, loving feeling of like, yes, this is for me. Others are sacral led. So they'll feel this creative energy flowing through them. Others are like myself, I'm a splenic projector. And so the splenic projector, their inner authority of knowing truth is you just get one short, quick, innate yes. Like this is it, this intuitive hit right in your gut. But then past that, you will not get it again. So if you don't listen to that initial reaction, you'll get lost in your head. And so it's actually really cool when you use a framework such as human design to understand and to guide you deeper into learning the way that your body gives you a yes versus a no. And then to really to tune into that, because like Erica, you just said, it's the initial, it's that like first hit that you get. That's your intuition. And then the thought process is your mind often trying to override you to keep you safe based on past patterns. But the past isn't actually a great predictor of the future, oftentimes.
Oftentimes it's not, right? Especially if we're stuck in patterns that are not serving us, right? It's just going to keep us in that hole, which we don't want to be in. And I love that human design model. And I think that's wonderful. And it made me think of, when you were saying that we all are intuitive, all of us. I don't care who you are, how much you believe you have intuition or not, or how strong it may be. We are all intuitive. It is our gift that we were born with, just coming into this planet, right? And so that means we all have a gift of intuition, and that gift comes differently for each one of us. All the different clairs, right? So whether we see, whether we hear, whether we feel, whether we just know, and you'll know what that is for you, because in your life, you've had certain instances where these things have come, and either you listened to it or you didn't. And if you didn't, you've really learned, because you're like, damn it, I knew it. I knew it, and I should have listened. And now I got in trouble, or, this went the wrong way. And so those are the things that teach us, okay, well, I heard it. Okay, so maybe I hear things. When I hear things, that's my sense. I'll listen to that.
Yeah, exactly. This comes up all the time. And I'll give a little example. A couple of weeks ago, I saw my little bottle of essential oil On Guard, which is the protective blend. It's like the natural antibiotic. And something in my body told me, oh, I need to bring this with me while I'm going out. I'm going over to a friend's house or something. And then my intuition told me that. My mind jumped in and said, Sam, listen, you don't need to bring your oils. You're going to be fine. Like, just leave it. So I left it. I get there, my friend is developing a cold. And I knew that had I given her essential oil, these drops, it would have been useful. And I knew. So then I remember making a mental note, next time, follow my intuition. So a few weeks later, just a few days ago, I was about to go out, and I looked in my cupboard and I saw my Band-Aids, and it said, take a Band-Aid with you. Random, right? And then I remember the example of the essential oil coming up, and I said, okay, yeah, I made a commitment to trust myself. Bring the Band-Aid. I start walking. I develop a blister on the back of my foot, right? Oh, that's why I knew to take my Band-Aid. And it's just these little simple things, but trusting in these little things flexes those muscles using a lightweight, so that when you are faced with bigger challenges or bigger questions or bigger things to self-doubt, well, your intuition is strengthened based on all the times that you listen to yourself, because then you affirm to yourself, oh, there is something here with this intuition thing.
Yeah, totally. And what I love about that is you just thought, okay, I know I need to bring this Band-Aid. You don't know why you need to bring the Band-Aid. It didn't matter why, right? And I think that that's a big thing that we all need to let go of, is sometimes we just need to let go of the why and what it all means, and just go with it and trust it and know that this is not lying to you, because you will figure it out later. And just like you did, you figured it out later. Oh, that's why I needed the Band-Aid. Right?
Yes. Oh, so many of us get stuck on the why and the how.
Yeah.
And those are actually the two worst questions. Actually, two most disempowering questions that you can ask yourself in many different ways, because the how, the universe is going to take care of that. And I need to constantly remind myself of that. And then the why, right? Yeah. A good friend of mine, his partner just broke up with him, and he called me. He was like, I'm just thinking, why did she break up with me? Why can't people choose me? Why? And I had to remind him, hey, that's the most disempowering question, because it only activates your ego. It only activates your pain. It only activates further doubt. You can ask, how is this here for my greater joy? What is this here to teach me? What now? Okay, how am I going to interpret that? Right? Empowering questions that get you out of that disempowering state, that's actually really helpful. And so it's opening up something, right? Instead of thinking, oh, Band-Aid, well, why would I bring that? A really closed question, a diminisher. Ooh, okay. How could this maybe serve me? And then you really open yourself, you open and expand your energy field, and then the universe can meet you there in that open state of receptivity.
Yes, absolutely. I'll tell you what, this topic has been coming up so much in my sessions lately because our higher self really wants us to get this. They want us to slow down. They want us to get back in nature. And the reason why they wanted us to do that is because that is what strengthens our connection to them, to the higher aspect of ourselves, and allows us to trust ourselves more, right? They want us to stop overthinking, to just let it all go, to just be easy, to go with the flow. And it's such a simple thing to do, but it sounds like it's so hard, but it's not. It really is so simple. We overcomplicate it. That's that other side of that brain, that monkey brain coming in again with the doubt and all the other things that are making it more complicated than it has to be.
Well, you're
It's
so
very
right.
simple.
And that's the thing. We are used to doing things that are overcomplicated. And so that's what our comfort is. Like anything we do is overcomplicated. Where most people feel that meditating is actually so challenging. But really, when you think about it, how is it challenging to sit and do nothing? But the fact that we're so wired to be scattered little monkeys, like running all around the place, well, it's just like, instead of overthinking, inner feeling, slow down, tune in, calm the mind, feel into the body. And yes, it's different. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first. And yes, it's not how you're wired and what your brain wants to do, because your brain is now addicted to this like hyper stimulated state of existence. But that is actually the complicated path. And so it's cool if you can frame that to yourself like, oh no, actually intuition is easy. Slowing down is easy. Feeling into my body, that's easy. And then you get to shift. You get to shift into that.
Yeah. I think a big part of that too is also releasing the expectations. We have this idea of what it should be because there's so many people out there sharing their ideas of what it should be. And some ideas are more common than others. And so we get this idea or this expectation of what it should be, but it's never a should be for you. You are an individual and it comes differently for you. So to release all those expectations, especially in meditation, my goodness, don't start practicing meditation for the first time and expect yourself to do it, to just shut your mind off. That's not what you're going to do. Don't expect that of yourself, right? Just take it easy. All you need to do is just be quiet and actually use a visualization instead. You will get to that place if you just settle into the flow. That is the ultimate outcome, but you don't need to try. We try too hard because of these expectations very often.
Yeah, you're so right. And something that you said there that made me think is, objective, like capital T truth versus subjective little t truth. Everyone's sharing their truth, right?
Yep.
And there are so many different iterations of the T truths, the little T truths. Just like even if you take diet, for example, like there are very many people that say the vegetarian diet is the healthiest. Many people say the vegan diet. Many people will say the paleo. Many people will say the keto. Many people will say the banana diet. Many people will say eat air and, or eat light. And they're all actually right for them.
Right.
And so what we need to do is look at all of the spectrum of the information as guides, as possibilities, and then experientially try on, become the one that you want, the one that feels exciting for you. And it has to be a feeling, right? Because you can get stuck in your head of like, well, which one's going to be the best? Which one's going to be the right one for me? Blah, 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 blah. But really it is just, what one am I excited? Which one is my body leaning into? Which one do I actually want to be the truth? And when you choose the one that you want to be the truth, it becomes your truth as long as you claim it as your truth.
Right.
And I see this all the time in my practice. People, and even this happened to myself, where I thought I wanted to be vegan because that's what I thought was the right thing, because that's what the propaganda was showing me and all of the research I was seeing at that time. And so then I did that, but I didn't really want to do that. And so it didn't really work. So I questioned myself and doubted myself, and then it didn't work, then it did work, and I was spiraling. And so many people go through this and they spiral because we've disconnected from our true ability to feel in and to choose and to remember that we are the co-creators, and that our little t truth becomes our capital T truth, but there's no actual objective truth in this world of every perspective possible.
Absolutely. There is no absolute truth, only that subjective truth. And the only truth is that truth that is within you, that truth that you know inside you that says yes. That's it. That's the truth. Because everyone, like you said, everyone's truth is going to be different, and there is no absolute. The truth is what that little voice inside you tells you. And that's where this trusting yourself also comes in, right? Because in order to learn to listen to that voice inside and learn what our truth actually is, we need to trust ourselves. We need to trust our intuition. And we need to trust every little thing that's being shown to us around us in our universe, because we are the center of our universe. We are creators. There's a center to creation. There's a center to everything. There's a center to us. That is our heart, by the way. Right? And so we are the center of our universe, and we get to play with it and pay attention to it, be aware of it. It's talking to us. It is teaching us. And I'm really glad that we're talking about this today, because you know how you had a thought, grab the Band-Aid? Well, before we started recording, I walked by a little stack of books on my kitchen table, and I saw the bird tribe sitting there, and I heard, grab the book. I'm like, all right, I'll grab the book. We'll see. So, of course, I have a little tab in here for intuition, and that's so I can just pull up the page. And I love this quote from the bird tribes. In every moment you have around you all of the information you require. You are at all times surrounded by the truth of what is, the energies behind the wind. They are signaling to you. I love this book so much.
Oh,
Wow.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. One of the things that I feel in my life personally that inhibits me from choosing and making decisions and trusting myself is the fear of getting it wrong.
Ah.
Like I so desperately, and I'll use that word, want to get it right. Like I have this, like, I want it to be right. I want it to be right, the right path, the path that doesn't cause suffering, the path that like works out, the path that is beautiful and magical and all the different things. And that pressure I put on myself to like really get it right actually prevents me from walking the path and taking it.
It does.
And it's like there can be this paralysis because I don't want to take a step unless I know it's the right step, but I'm never actually going to know if it's the right step unless I take it. But the mind like really wants to protect itself, and the ego wants to stay safe. And so I feel like that's why a lot of people don't make decisions, don't take risks, don't take chances, don't go out and start the business, don't go out and grab the relationship, don't do any of the things, because of that fear of getting it wrong or the fear of failure. And that is one of the biggest, greatest, worst illusions, because it really prevents us from actually living our lives.
It so does. Paralysis by analysis, right? There's a reason why that's a term. Yeah. A lot of us, we do that, and that's what holds us back. So I'll tell you another big thing that's been coming up in the sessions. And it's funny, it was just yesterday I had a session. It was very interesting how they were showing her these different paths that she was walking on. It was very simple scenes that she was being shown, but a gravel path, a cement path, a dirt path. All of these paths led towards home. And the reason why that they showed her that was, doesn't matter what path you take, it'll all be okay. All these paths lead towards home. So beautiful. Their logic is just so simplistically amazing and beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
It's always going to be okay. Always. Everything's okay no matter what. So you can release that expectation of yourself to always get it right and always be perfect. Those mistakes are our best learning tools.
Yeah. And then if there's a fear of maybe losing something, if you choose one thing, you might lose the other. If you don't do this, you will never lose what's meant for you.
Yep.
Like I affirm that to myself. Like I will always have what's meant for me. I can never lose what was meant for me, because it wouldn't have been meant for me if I can lose it. And so if we can have trust in that the universe is always working out. Right. So one of the practices for anyone listening that's maybe stuck between a decision or that's in the self-doubt, or there's like 2 or 3 or 4 paths that you're considering, one of the things that you can do is sit with them and really imagine yourself going down path A, then imagine yourself going down path B, and feel into the feeling of path A, feel into the feeling of path B, and see which one you imagine yourself being happier in. Which one like feels like yes. Which one do you really feel like, even if it's just a little degree more, a little bit more pulled towards, like you'll feel it. It's less of like which one has the pros and the cons, because that gets into the mental realm. But which one is your heart just like pushing you a little bit towards? And then give yourself the opportunity to trust that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that exercise. It's so beautiful. It helps you figure it all out and learn how to continue this process of intuitive trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's a great exercise. Really feeling into it. Beautiful. Thank you, Samantha, for that.
Yeah. The other way is flip a coin, right? And don't let the coin decide. However, flip the coin. Option A, heads. Option B, tails. Whatever it lands on, see how you feel. If it lands on A and you're happy, that's what you want. If it lands on B and you're like, oh shit, no, then you wanted A.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful way. You trust that very first thing that comes.
Yeah.
And there's just little ways to kind of force you into doing that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So you got this, Positive Head listeners. We believe in you. Yes, you do.
You are immensely powerful creators, and you have all of this power inside you. You just need to get out of your own way. That's what I say this all the time. We just got to get out of our own way. Trust ourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Samantha. This has been great.
This has been great. I feel like it's a lesson that we can all benefit from, and we can all use the reminder of. And yeah, it's a beautiful path. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, Erica. I'm always grateful to be here with you.
Yes, me too. Thank you. I love this. You guys, we are going to leave you with a song for today. This is Xavier Rudd, Messages. Until next time, love you all.
We love you.
Also, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to remind you about the game with the universe on our website, where you can choose the first number that comes to your mind and it'll pull up that episode number of the podcast. I've been saying this is a great way to co-create synchronicity and magic with your higher self for quite some time. And if you go to positivehead.com/universe, there is a super fun and simple interface to play this game with your higher self. I firmly believe just by setting the intention to play in this way, it opens up the door for magic, and it's a synchronistic way to hone in on nuggets of wisdom out of the huge catalog of episodes that are specifically appropriate for you at this time in your journey to becoming the next greatest and greatest version of yourself. And it also makes for a super fun way to spark the curiosity of friends and family by having them choose a number, so they'll hopefully go and check out their number as well, which I greatly appreciate because it helps us to spread the word about the podcast. Once again, the address is positivehead.com/universe. And as a quick reminder, if you're curious to learn more about Purium superfoods and why I take them almost every day, be sure to also check out positivehead.com/transformation. On this journey of becoming the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves that we have all embarked upon, I cannot stress the importance of managing your physical vibration enough. And quite honestly, Purium has put together the simplest plan I've found to do so. I have my favorite, the appleberry shake, at least 5 times a week. Once again, to learn more about the Purium transformation, go to positivehead.com/transformation. Or if you want to keep it simple and just try out my favorite, the appleberry shake, you can go straight over to ishoppurium.com and be sure to use code positivehead for 25% off. I'll spell that for you. It's ishoppurium.com. And be sure to use your Positive Head 25% coupon code.
So now come sit down, will you talk with me now, and let me see through your eyes where there is so much light. We are biding our time for these myths to unwind, for these changes we will confront. So please beware with every place that you head, and look to your soul for these things that you know. For the trees that we see cannot forever breathe with the changes they will confront. You know, some people, they just won't understand, or just won't understand these things. Thank you for your message, but I don't understand, or I just won't understand these things. In the sacred land, it has seen many hands, it has wealth and gold, yet it is fragile and old, and well, the greedy souls just don't care to know of the changes it will confront. So speak out loud of the things you are proud, and if you love this coast, then keep it clean as it holds, cause the way that it shines may just dwindle with time, with the changes it will confront. So you know, some people, they just won't understand, or just won't understand these things. Thank you for your message, but I don't understand, or just won't understand these things. You know, some people, they just won't understand, or just won't understand these things. Thank you for your message, but I don't understand, or just won't understand these things. So hold nice and close, won't you get to your soul, so that when it is cold, you won't feel so alone. Cause the roads that you take may just crack and break with the changes you will confront. And with each gift that you share, you may heal and repair. With each choice you make, you may help someone's day. Well, I know you are strong, may your journey be long, and now I wish you the best of